Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Surviving UX podcast. I am Meg Kramer. My co-host is Jessamyn Edwards, and today we have no time for our usual banter because we have some special guests to introduce, and we will be participating in our first ever draft episode. So, what is a draft, and how are we going to make it about UX? We are going to do this as we go, beta testing this for the first time. But first, let me welcome our two special UX design guests and our fellow drafters. So, guest number one is now a three-peat on our podcast, our first three-peat. She is killing it at a big tech company in the Pacific Northwest and can beat my ass in Mario Kart. We are so glad to have you back, Laura Martin.
Thank you so much, Meg. Great to be here again. Great to see you again, Jessamyn, and really excited for this episode.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And guest number two is someone we are very excited to have on the podcast for the first time. He's a designer, a tinkerer, and a great parent. And I know this because he and I created a little monster together and parent him. And please welcome Patrick Kovacich.
Hello, Internet. How's it going? It's great to be on here. And that is definitely the weirdest intro I've ever gotten. It's like monster creator.
And of course, we have Jessamyn, my co-host, here to round out our four-person draft. Hello, Jessamyn. How is everyone doing?
Hello. Very good. Very good. Excited to have a foursome today on the pod for the first time.
Yeah.
No, not for the first time. Oops.
Not for the first time. Second time.
Second time, yeah.
Second time, I think. No, third time. Anyway, doesn't matter.
Anyway, who's counting?
Who's counting? All right. So if everyone's ready to go, I will give a little background on the draft that we're going to try to do today. So our draft goal is to make your best ever UX setup. So the conditions under which you feel like you as a designer could do your best work. And just like in any draft, like a football draft, once something is taken, it's off the board and no one else can grab it. And that's kind of what makes it exciting, is that if someone else has something that they already, that you wanted, that they already took, you kind of have to think of something else. We don't know what order we'll be picking in. We're going to do a random order generator here in a second. But we have decided the categories ahead of time. So this is to make your best UX life ever. These are the categories. A tool could be a design tool, an app, a medium, a communication or collaboration tool. We'll be picking kind of like the most important tool that you think is the most important tool. The
Your
second
favorite tool?
Favorite could be favorite, yeah. The second would be cross-functional partner. So somebody from somewhere else in the business outside of UX, who you think is very important to partner with to be able to do your best work. And then of course
XFP. Do people abbreviate this as XFP?
XFP, cross-functional partner. Probably not, because I had to spell that out in my head, but do now. And then the fourth category, although you can pick your categories in any order, is research method, because of course we're all focused on the customer, on the user, and so we need ways to understand the user. And then the last category is a company CEO, so someone whose vision you'd actually want to follow. And for the CEO, we're going to be picking a real human person. I assume it's going to be human unless someone gets really creative. So this should be somebody that our audience could maybe look up on Wikipedia to get an idea of kind of maybe what type of leader they are. So those are our categories. These are our drafters. So all we need now is an order. And I will go ahead and get our order already. And I guess the last thing is that if somebody's picking something like really crazy, we're all going to vote and see if that should be allowed. All right. So
we get to veto each other's favorite things.
If we all agree, I guess, if we have real good reason,
we get to shoot down each other's ideas and dreams.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So I promise you guys this is random. So the order will be Laura's first, Meg is second, Patrick is third, and Jessamyn is fourth. Jessamyn will also pick twice
Awesome.
as
Last
we
place.
go back up the order to back up to the top. So I'm just going to quickly reorder my spreadsheet. Yep, I have a spreadsheet. Laura, as you're thinking of your first pick, you can kick us off.
Well, awesome. Well, excited again to be here on this episode and to participate in the draft. Thankful for being the first one here. So I'm going to go with the app or tool to use for any part of the UX design role. And I'm going to pick Figma, which may be a huge surprise to all of y'all. So picked Figma because it does so many things, and it's got it continues to improve upon itself as time goes on. It's great to make designs, as well as a design communication tool with not only within our team, but outside of our team with our stakeholders and beyond. So that is a tool I picked there.
You have drank the Kool-Aid.
I have.
Kool-Aid.
I had a feeling it would go first for sure. Like, and that proved right. I did not think that I would be following up second to pick. I thought that maybe more would be taken in this category once Figma was off the board. So I think I'm also going to go in app or tool, but the other one that I came up with for this is not, I don't think it's going to be highly coveted, but I think I want to grab it. Oh, no. I don't know.
So much buildup.
So much buildup and drama. Okay.
Drama.
No. I'm going to go a different category. I'm going to go cross-functional partner type, and I am going to go engineer, ideally maybe a front-end engineer, but
You got to be more specific. Oh, okay.
All right. Front-end engineer, but maybe if I had to be really specific, I'd pick John Span, who was on our episode like a year and a half ago. Because he's not a front-end engineer, so I'd pick some combination of somebody who has extreme depth of the infrastructure that we work in and a very realistic view, but also like a good like attitude about like what could potentially be possible. But I think that to summarize that as something, I guess I'll just say front-end engineer.
Cool.
So that's mine. All right. So Patrick, you are up.
All right, I'm going to snap back to the app or tool, so because I want to grab that while I can. And surprising no one, I'm going to go with Google Sheets. Oddly enough, I think, being able to organize a tremendous amount of information and share it collaboratively with other people and like reorganize stuff live, and just then be able to do visualization and like formula, processing and stuff like it's just the thresher that takes in all my information and spits out, insight, and that's like the critical part of my path.
And of course happens to be what we are currently using right now to log our draft.
QED.
So Jessamyn, you get 2 picks, so it doesn't necessarily matter what order you pick in, but you get 2 picks.
So I will, I'm sure no one else chose this for their tool. Mine is Adobe InDesign CS3. Circa 1995.
Nice.
And
nice.
Love how specific that is.
Yeah.
Because it was so intuitive. I could do all the keystrokes in my sleep, and it had the feature that I miss so badly that I've never seen anywhere else, which is the loaded cursor. And
loaded cursor. What's a
the loaded cursor? So when you copy and paste something, it would give you this little micro preview next to the cursor of what you had. Was it text? Was it a picture? Whatever it was. So before you clicked down, it showed you like a little preview there. So you knew, and then you could load up, like if you selected 10 images, you could load them in sequence and go paste, 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 and paste them one after the other. It was the most incredible interaction and so intuitive. And it just, I don't know if they patented it and then it never appeared anywhere else or what, but it's just so useful. So awesome. And I really miss it. Those were the good times. And let's see. My other one, I'll go with the company CEO.
Okay.
So when I was researching different CEOs, my favorite companies that I looked at, I have three: Marriott, Costco, and Crocs. So I looked up the CEOs of all these. I was hoping to find another lady, but it's all dudes. So I was gonna go with the dude from Crocs because I love my Crocs. And I was just saying to Chad, I'm wearing these Crocs yet again. This is like summer number 4 or 5 with these Crocs, and they still look great. And they feel great. So his name is Andrew Reese, CEO of Crocs, and he makes a good shoe. What can I say?
Has he been with Crocs like for a while? Was he part of like the
Yeah,
founding?
that's another thing is that the other CEOs I looked at were all new. Like they'd just been hired a year or two in, so they weren't exactly like founders. And that kind of rubs me the wrong way because you're like, hey, you're just like, whatever. Somebody else did all the hard work. But I think this guy has been around a while, so I went with him. That's my choice.
Great choices, wonderful choices. All right, so now we go back up the list. Patrick, you get one choice.
All right, I guess I'll go into the research method category. I agonized over this a bit. I think my answer is not necessarily my favorite, but it's the most useful one in my career so far, and that is the humble card sort. Honestly, I don't love card sorts as like on either side of the process, but in terms of like untangling a really difficult mess of something I'm trying to figure out, like what's the best way to do something or what's important or what's not, like card sort has been there and bailed me out so many times.
Do you do card sorts in person or remotely?
I mean, I have done both. I haven't done one in person in quite some time.
But you still find them valuable remotely.
Oh yeah.
Are they sync or async?
Wait.
Either.
Okay, I have questions. So if you don't have an expensive fancy subscription to a research tool, how do you do this in Google Sheets or some other poor man's method?
I was going to say Google Sheets provides it is low tech, but it's basically like here's a tab with all your options. Here are tabs that are buckets. Copy paste options into buckets. Profit.
Okay. That's what I needed to hear because I feel like for me, everyone will be like, do a card sort. But I'm like, well, how? I don't have a tool. So, and I've never figured out like how to do it easily or seen anybody do it without a tool that I don't have a subscription to.
They've monkeyed with the licensing on this a lot, so I'm not sure this is still the case, but Trello was also a fairly good way. Like you could basically just make a board, and because you can move stuff around an infinite amount on Trello, you can basically just like set it up for somebody, have them do it, take a screenshot, and then just reset it. And it's like that way you get some of that nice, like you
get the visual of the drag and drop.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
All right. So back to me. I'm also going to dive into the research method because I cannot not take in-person site visit, contextual inquiry, and that's what I'll call it. In-person site visit, contextual inquiry. I love going places and seeing people in their environments. You can also do a prototype study there while they're in their place, so that doesn't rule that out. You get to talk to them usually for an extended period of time, which is not typical. Also, when I've done these, it hasn't been just myself. Although I've done some myself for when I was in grad school, but often with a company, they would send out like 2 or 3 people, and like that experience of going with somebody to this thing, you kind of have this bonding opportunity between you. You have this context that you can always refer back to when you're doing your future design and development work and ideation, etc. So I couldn't imagine doing my job without that, just because of like the personal satisfaction that it brings. However, I will say I can't remember the last time that I actually did this.
I was
so
thinking
it's
the
a
same
dream.
thing.
It's a dream. This is
I
my
know.
dream scenario.
When was the last time you did it and who paid?
Yeah, those are great questions for all these.
Absolutely not me. I don't think I've ever paid for it. And the last time was like not just pre pandemic, like pre-pandemic. So yeah, it's been a long time.
Pre-pandemic.
Yeah, but I still remember
Okay.
them. I remember going on one with one of our colleagues. Actually, I think the time when we all worked together, Vito, and
Mm.
I still remember going on that. It was great.
Yeah.
You know,
Where'd you go?
but
Do you remember? Like,
now I
was
wish
it?
it was in San Francisco somewhere and
Aw.
it was to somebody's office. Yeah.
Hmm.
I'm sure I
Very
have
cool.
notes from it stored away somewhere. All right. Well, we're back to Laura. Laura, that was a long wait for you, but you get to make two picks
Oh,
in
2 pigs. Wow.
picks, yeah, two picks in your three remaining categories.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
All right. I will pick the cross-functional partner type,
All right.
and that is someone in my finance partner.
Oh,
Ooh.
So I
okay.
picked the finance partner because they at least where I work, there's a lot of focus on the bottom line and how much money we're making. So a lot of projects end up getting greenlit or getting a lot of support if they show that they are able to generate X amount of dollars for the company over X amount of years.
Mm-hmm.
And the best people to partner with to figure that out are finance, just at the start. And then also finance is really great to because there's like a dollar amount, but then there's like, okay, there's a bunch of other metrics that all of our stakeholders have. How do we like translate a UX metric, for example, to that dollar amount to really land it? And so finance is really critical in terms of making that happen and in short order, ensuring that we're able to demonstrate UX ROI to whoever needs needs to
Oh,
see it.
that's awesome. I actually wish, I don't even know if I need the person, but I almost wish I had like a fake report that I could just show people when I needed to, so that they'd be like, oh, that's cool. And then they'd move on and then I could do what I wanted. And they just have like this confidence that like, yes, this is worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Finance FBI badge that just says I can do what I want.
Right.
Amazing.
Laura, you made some really good points before you started giving your reasoning. My first
Uh-huh.
thought was, oh, the finance person, because they can give you money for snacks or participant
Budget.
reimbursements.
That
But
is very
your
true.
but
That's
your
very true.
argument, I think, is definitely resonant, and it's a very
But
good one.
yeah, but
Be two things.
you're totally right, Meg. Like our team just had an offsite last week, and we did have like a few side conversations with finance to be like, hey, we want to do this extra thing. Is that cool? So,
We
yeah.
want to go to Ojai and take CBD and sit in a hot tub. Is that in
Yeah, the finance
budget?
people will be like, we're already here. Where are y'all?
All right, Laura, your second pick.
My second pick is the research method,
Okay.
and it is in-depth user interviews. So I feel that this is a mainstay in terms of user research methodology, at least in my career and the multiple places that I've worked. It's just a really great way to really learn about our customers, really understand their needs and pain points and motivations, and really just focus on that as opposed to focusing on the UI or anything else. But in-depth user interviews can bring up UI and have people
Mhm.
review them and comment on them, etc. But the primary purpose is to really learn about the customers, and I feel that's the best way for us to figure out how we can actually design for them.
When you say in depth, what amount of time do you think of when you think of in depth?
Oh, that's a good question. I would maybe average an hour, but
Mhm.
I think it could depend on how complex the domain is, and also how much time the person has. Like in on my team, we do a lot of stuff with business procurement, and so with certain customers and certain users, it can get quite complicated in terms of like all the tools that they're using and all the people that they engage with and what have you. So it's like it's almost like just like figuring out like what is their situation that they're in, their environment, and before like really understanding what they need. So like those I think can be a little bit complex. So having a little bit more time on that, I think is good.
So, a question for you, Laura. Like,
Yeah.
are you, when you interview, are you more of like a stick to the script person, or do you like it, like, let's go off the rails? Like, let's jump off these rails and just talk.
I like that there's two extremes. Either the script or like completely bananas. Well, I think it's good to figure out, okay, what are primary questions we'd love to walk away from this interview answered, but depending on where the conversation is going, I think that really is where the interviewing becomes like more of an art than a science. Is that if you get a sense that this participant is feeling it, or like really wants to talk about X thing, and it is ultimately relevant to what we're doing anyway, then like, yeah, let's let them go and really get into that. It allows you to establish rapport and all that stuff with the participants. So I think I think going in prepared
Yeah.
makes sense, but then feeling it out as the interview goes, I think is appropriate in order to get as much good information from folks as we can.
And by prepared, do you mean actually having questions written down in advance?
Yeah, having questions written down in advance, and even like the order of them. Like if you have someone who's like especially chatty about like one question, maybe that's like the most important question anyway. So then you can walk away from that interview feeling good with what you got.
I'm just thinking of the number of interviews I've done where I've had no questions written in advance, and we just fumble through it together, and I don't know at the end if I've done an interview or just had a call with somebody. Yeah, you're kind of giving me some pause here. I need to get it together. I had one of those this week, actually. Oh, well. All right.
Yes. Okay. So I have two picks left, but I'm definitely going to go for CEO because I know everyone's picked their tool. So I'll get whatever I want on the turn when it comes back to me. So my CEO, I also looked around for ones that resonated with me like you did, Jessamyn. And I was also hoping to find a woman CEO. I was also thinking of companies that are things that I've kind of held up as being important companies or having this similar values as I do. And last but not least, I wanted to sneak in an HR benefit that I think is really important because one of the categories we thought about putting on this list was HR benefit. And I wanted to sneak mine in. And so I am picking a former CEO, Rose Macario. She was the CEO of Patagonia for a number of years. She left in 2021.
I knew you were going to pick this.
You did?
I knew
thought
it.
you
I
might
was
take
like,
it
she's
from
going to
me.
pick some crunchy clothing company.
Oh my God.
And obviously Patagonia is in SoCal. So it's right down the road. I knew it.
Yeah. So obviously they have a lot of great ethos around like the environment and all that stuff, but the one thing that I often cite about them is around their daycare for their employees. And so the CEO herself wrote one of the articles that you can look up and see about kind of not just like, oh, Patagonia is so great, it has a daycare, but like what is actually like the financial return on the daycare, and like how can a business actually, support this, and what are they losing money or not? And her argument is that they're not losing money on it.
Well, let me guess. It's an outdoor daycare. There's no building. The children have to wear raincoats when it's raining outside. Does that sound?
I don't know. I mean I don't know if
Isn't
it's
that what they do up in Seattle?
like a
They're
forest
The
Patagonia
children,
raincoats.
they make
I mean,
them
we have
meet outside in the forest instead of actually going inside for snack.
We have
people just let their kids go for like a week or two. So
there's no overhead. They just pee in the woods, drink from the raindrops, and
the other thing I like about her, and
they
sorry I'm
find on the
taking
ground.
so long on this, but the other thing I like about her is like the pandemic hit, she had to make like super hard choices. And then she was like, you know what? Like, it just seemed like she was like, this isn't really my path anymore. Like, the world is a difficult, changing place. And like, maybe somebody is better suited to being in this position. And my health and well-being is, or, you know, my, I don't know. I mean, I am very skeptical of CEOs and whatever, but there's a humbleness and a humility about like knowing when you're at your limit as opposed to pushing through and making bad decisions. And so anyway, so she is my pick. All right, PK.
Wait, are you saying she had cut the daycare?
No. She left Patagonia.
After... Oh, and then somebody else came behind her and did it.
No, the daycare's still there.
Still there. Oh, okay. So some hard choices were made financially, but she didn't make them.
Yes.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if that's a good CEO.
That she left the company?
Yeah. Rather than like do the tough stuff.
Well, I mean, she was there like for like a year plus through the pandemic. So I think she held on, but like, I don't know. If you're done, you're done.
Because then you're like, well, I don't want to be the person to lay off people. I don't want to be the person to close up shop over here.
They laid off a lot of people before she left. But anyway.
Okay.
Nobody's perfect. We're gonna look up your Crocs guide.
All right, Rose.
All right.
He is a king. No.
All right, Patrick, you have two to choose from.
I'm gonna go back to cross-functional partner, I think.
Okay.
And I'm gonna go with, I don't know, it kind of depends on the politics of your organization, but I would say either like a QA engineer or QA director.
Oh my
Sometimes
God.
you need to step up a little bit. But I just find that frequently QA folks I'm like the most aligned with. We generally have that bigger picture sense of like, what are we actually doing here? Because they kind of have to just to like understand the whole thing. And like, we have to kind of do that systems design. But we're generally aligned on like, you know, if we ship it a day earlier, but it doesn't address this and this and this, like it's just going to cost us more later. So I find that it's often a alignment between myself and QA there, and then that's also really useful because that can get other people on board. You know, like the two of us showing a solidarity on a united front tends to get engineering to go, well, wait a minute, maybe they're onto something. And you know, building consensus is hard, and I find that aligning our values with QA's values tends to build consensus a little bit easier. Unfortunately, that's also kind of a dying breed these days. A lot of places are, you know, replacing QA folks with, I don't know, scripts that check code. I'm not really sure.
Yeah, I was gonna say that like that's such a great answer. And then thinking about the org where I work, there's like 3 QA people for like hundreds of engineers, and so it's like, as much as we try to align with them, like they're, like you mentioned, PK, they're a dying breed, and that's a shame.
Yeah, and even the ones I still have a bunch, but they're essentially being retrained into a different type of role that is much more like work in concert with the automation. And like the part that I value is still there, so I'm okay with it because they're still you know, advocating for overall quality and like having a view of the product. But yeah, I do worry about, you know, what budgets are going to do to that long term.
Yeah, agreed.
I so appreciate this answer because I have not worked with QA in years and miss them so much and wish that I did. And I just feel like the teams that I worked on that had QA were so much stronger because you're just constantly being held accountable. You can't ship crap. It will come back immediately and it's in your face. And I just feel like that is so important. And where has this gone? Why is this a dying breed?
So many times I think bias to action gets this like, oh, we can ship it earlier if we just ignore this part or drop this part off. Yes. And again, QA is like this guy, like that actually causes a bunch more problems. Can we just, you know, build the thing and ship the thing and it's all done instead of like chopping it into smaller pieces that are harder to track? And it's just, yeah, it's really helpful to have somebody that can really push the org to quality. I mean, it's in the name.
The assumption that everyone is constantly testing and looking and clicking at every little thing on the team is so false. It's
Yeah.
so false.
I mean, I actually have a long-standing joke with QA folks of like, I think you have to have a certain like, brain derangement to do the job well, because like you have to be that person who's going to put negative question mark in a form field and see what happens. And like, not all of us have that particular, brain, but it's super useful to come up with those things that we just assume, oh yeah, some like a developer who wrote it's going to catch it, or this person's going to catch it. It's like, no, you really need somebody who thinks about how do I break this in the most demented way possible.
If I put a
I
baby
say that
on the
with love.
keyboard, what will happen?
Yeah, like if you end a drag event while holding shift on the keyboard, what happens? Like,
Nice.
All right, Jessamyn. So these are your last two picks. You have
Okay.
cross-functional partner and research method left to round out your whole team here.
All right. So for cross-functional partner, Meg, I also had a front-end engineer,
Haha,
but
I
I
took it.
but I put flexible/creative. So I don't know if that makes the difference. So if I can't get a front end, I guess I'll have to go with a PM. But I will say this, like I feel like lately I have had some really good PMs that I've been working with. So I will stand up for the PM for right now. And yeah, like a friendly, generous with their time, approachable PM. And if there's occasionally some side jokes in there, that's nice too. Someone who has a sense of humor, please. Yeah. So that's my cross-functional. And then what was the last one? Oh, the research method is so I don't know if this overlaps with Laura's, but I put in interview with a broken prototype because that pretty much describes every research
I love that.
that I
think
do.
that I feel like that's significantly different enough.
Yeah, I agree.
It's like, here's my broken prototype that won't work. Let's click on it a couple times and then abandon it halfway through and just talk the rest of the time. That sounds good, right?
Oh yeah. It's a last pick for you, but it is such a great pick. Like it is, yes, it is cherry on the top.
Sweet. All right.
Patrick, would you like to make your last pick?
Yeah, so my last pick would be for company CEO. I wasn't unsure of the rules on this, of like either the person has to have served as a CEO or you can just draft a human as a CEO. My answer is Aza Raskin. May not know the name. I highly recommend you Google, look at the Wikipedia. We talked about that earlier. Just really, really interesting history of kind of blending cutting edge technology with like humane and ethical process and thinking. Has kind of a family history of that. His dad was very famous in the space. And one of the things I would call out mainly is like invented a pretty noteworthy kind of tech thing, and many years later has come to publicly talk about how damaging that was, and what a disaster for humanity that was to do. Like to be able to be somebody that's like, I invented this part of the tech fabric, and then later say this was a mistake and here's why. That's what I want out of like a CEO.
What was the technology?
Endless scrolling. Which I know sounds like, no, nobody invented that. Yeah, actually, if you look into it, it's one of those like highly credited with this, but like, yeah, basically that concept of you reach the end of a thing and it fetches more data. Someone had to come up with that. And yeah, arguably it has caused dramatic harm to society.
Wow, amazing.
And then because we were
Thanks
talking about
nothing, Aza.
No, I mean, I'm a huge fan. There's a lot of great stuff he's done to kind of like, but that's what I'm saying is like, own your mistake and make up for it and, do better. I did want to put in if I could draft someone, and this kind of ties into like better inclusiveness and representation. Sid Harrell, that's spelled CYD. Like I would follow Sid Harrell into battle. And like, I highly like would draft as a CEO, though I don't think she's ever had that role.
And what does Sid do?
Runs a lot of like digital service stuff, like local, like government digital design. So like Code for America, like those kinds of things.
Very cool.
Nice.
Getting tech people into making civil services and social services not suck.
That's a great Great selection there, PK.
Speaking
Yeah.
of, did you guys do the free online tax thing at all that they came out with this year?
Mm-mm.
I did
Did you
not.
read about that?
Did you, Jessamyn?
I was excited about it, and I saw that they got so much of a response. They're already like expanding it.
Oh, good.
Shocker, right? Like,
I waited until the last minute to do my taxes, so I decided not to monkey around and try something new. So I just did my tried and true method, but maybe next year I'll save myself $80.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So my last pick is in Tool. And as if you recall, I had some angst about whether or not I would choose this category first, but I'm very happy and probably not surprised that my choices left is still available on the table. And I will be going with paper and pencil or pen
Aw.
or marker.
Yeah, I was thinking about that one too, Meg.
Yeah. I think it's I still even have plenty of pieces of paper around my desk right now where I'm doodling and working things out in my head. And as I'm working with my front end engineer, I can just pass a piece of paper across and we can work on stuff together and then they'll build it for me. So
Exactly.
so pen and paper is my last pick. My team is now complete. So our last last drafter is Laura.
All right, awesome. So my last category is the CEO, yes?
Yes.
Yes. So also same with PK. I was wondering what the guardrails were for the rules here, but my pick for CEO would be Megan Rapinoe. And Megan
Oh.
Whoa,
Rapinoe
nice.
is a retired women's
Nice.
soccer player, and she is awesome. She's not only a great soccer player, but she also is an amazing activist, and has done a lot to further rights for multiple underrepresented groups.
Like free pay or what equal pay equality, right?
Yes, exactly. Like that was one of the bigger efforts that she worked on, specifically for equal pay for women in the U.S. soccer organization. And
Nice.
she is just like true to herself, and um she just like goes for it, is really outspoken and just like really cool. And I feel like I could see her being like, yes, we do have to like understand customer needs, pain points, and motivation, and we need to we need to make sure we address those like at all points. And like she would, I think she would just like infuse this like wild energy into the company and like make people really follow that. I mean, like I would totally work for her. So anyway, I think she'd be a great CEO.
One of the things I love about her is like when and frequently kind of in challenged in bad faith, she doesn't just like spout off some PR kind of platitudes. Like she really addresses what's been brought up and
Yes.
very, very succinctly just like annihilates it.
Yeah.
Just like every like video clip, it's just like very calmly taking what somebody said and really like breaking it down piece by piece and just knocking the crap out of it. It's amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
I bet she would give out great sports bras for her company employees.
Very true.
Okay. Great pick, Laura. All right. I'm going to read back everybody's team to them. To start, we have Jessamyn. You are using Adobe InDesign CS3 1995 with the loaded cursor and interviews with broken prototypes alongside your PM buddy, and you work for the dude from Crocs, Andrew Reese. How do you feel about your team?
I'm pretty much loving it. I think the only thing we didn't get to was like, what am I going to be eating and drinking during this workday? But I'm loving this job and enjoying my lifetime free supply of Crocs.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, nice picks.
All right, Patrick, you are using Google Sheets and card sorting methods alongside your QA engineer or director buddy. Maybe they got promoted, and you are working for Asa Raskin. How do you feel about your team?
I am thriving in this environment.
Oh, wonderful. Wonderful to hear. Wonderful. I have picked paper and pencil As my tool, I am using in-person, on-site visits, contextual inquiry alongside my front-end engineering buddy, and I work for Rose Macario, and I am loving the free daycare. And finally, we have Laura.
clothes.
Oh, and what?
And the clothes.
And the clothes. Yeah, I wonder what kind
You're
of
in like a
discount you get.
crunchy kind of sweatsuit, head to toe, blue purple. I'm kind of visualizing. Maybe a headband.
All right. And Laura, you are using the classic Figma design tool alongside in-depth user interviews with your finance partner buddy, and you work for Megan Rapinoe. How are you feeling about that?
I'm feeling really good about that. It's got some solid foundational elements along with like having Megan lead the charge.
Yeah.
Seems pretty awesome.
This is pretty creative. I love it. All right. Well, I thoroughly enjoyed that. I learned a lot about different things. I hope our audience was thoroughly entertained and educated as well. I really appreciate our two guests coming on today, Laura and Patrick, and spending your time and thoughts with us.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us. Yeah.
Perhaps we can do another draft in the future because I really like this concept.
Yeah,
well, it sounds like we need to have one just about snacks.
I agree.
Agreed.
I'm thinking about having one at dinner tonight about vacation ideas for summer.
Ooh,
Let's do it.
Nice.
I like it.
All right. That's it for the episode. If you need advice or just sympathy for your UX career, you can always write to us at survivingux@gmail.com.
Thanks for listening. Bye.
Surviving UX is hosted and edited by Jessamyn Edwards and Meg Kramer. Our theme music is, among other things, the on-hold music for Cisco phones, Opus Number 1 by Tim Carlton and Derek Beal. If you are having a crappy day in UX, we hope that we've inspired you too to visualize your UX dream team.